In this video, I will be demonstrating this geometric pendant. This design is ideal for square and oval shaped stones. I will be using this square labradorite cabochon. This stone is just short of 1 inch across, in metric 2.5 centimeters. I have two 10-inch lengths of 0.8mm round wire. Find the middle point of the wire. Make a 90-degree bend in the middle of the wire. Find the middle point of the other wire. Grasp the wire with flat nose pliers. Bend the wire at both sides of the pliers. The wire should create a 90-degree angle to match the first wire. I have a 50-inch length of 0.2mm wire. Find the centre of the 0.2mm wire. Start with the second 0.8mm wire. Start wrapping at the centre of the wire. Wrap the 0.2mm wire around the 0.8mm wire until reaching the bend. Flip the wires and wrap until reaching the other bend. Position the second wire inside the first wire. Wrap the 0.2mm wire twice around both wires. Wrap 4 times around the inner wire. Repeat this pattern twice more. Wrap twice around both wires. Wrap just once around the inner wire. Repeat the same pattern on the other side. Hold the stone in position with the wires centralised to the bottom corner. Bend the unwoven wires around the edge of the stone. Continue wrapping the wires using the same 2-4 weaving pattern until reaching the back edge of the stone. Hold the stone in place and bend the wires over the edge to the back of the stone. Continue weaving using the same pattern until meeting the place where the wires cross. I am using some tape to hold the stone in position. Where the wires cross over at the back of the stone, bend them parallel to each other. Take the bottom 0.2mm wire and wrap twice around the 2 lower wires. Wrap twice around the 2 middle wires. Wrap twice around the 2 lower wires. Take the upper 0.2mm wire. Wrap twice around the 2 top wires. Wrap twice around the 2 middle wires. Wrap twice around the 2 top wires. Back to the lower 0.2mm wire and repeat the pattern. Back to the top 0.2mm wire and repeat the pattern. Back to the bottom 0.2mm wire and repeat the pattern once more. Separate the unwoven wires into 2 pairs an equal distance from the top corner of the stone. Continue wrapping the wires together using the 2-4 weaving pattern until reaching the edge of the stone. Bend the unwoven wires over the edge of the stone. Continue weaving the wires for the depth of the stone. Bend the wires over the stone to the front. At this point I am not convinced that I have enough 0.2mm wire to complete this part of the weave, so I am going to add extra wire. Complete a couple more rotations of the 2-4 pattern. Bend the upper wire upwards towards the top of the stone. Where the lower wire cross, I am using my chain nose pliers to make a sharp bend in the wire towards the top of the stone. Repeat the process on the other side. I am eyeballing the bends, but ideally I would measure and mark where the bend should be to ensure that the design is symmetrical. You can now remove the tape. Wrap the outer wires up to the top edge of the stone. Use both 0.2mm wires to wrap twice around both wires of each pair. Use either of the 0.2mm wires to wrap twice around the two inner wires. I have another length of 0.2mm wire. You will need approximately 50 inches. Start with a 0.2mm wire coming up between the middle wires. Wrap twice around the upper of the middle wires. Wrap twice around the two upper wires. Wrap twice around the upper of the middle wires, bringing the 0.2mm wire back up between the middle wires. Wrap twice around the lower of the middle wires. Wrap twice around the two lower wires. Wrap twice around the lower of the middle wires, bringing the 0.2mm wire back up between the middle wires. Remove the excess from the previous 0.2mm wires and the tail of the current wire. Separate the wires into two pairs and bend them apart to approximately a 45-degree angle. Continue the same weaving pattern while maintaining the gap between the pairs. Weave for half an inch or 13mm. Bend the pairs of wires back towards each other. The wires should cross over half an inch or 13mm from the top of the weave. Where the wires cross, bend them back away from each other. Continue the weaving pattern. I am using this small screwdriver to help shape the bail. Bend the wires at the widest part of the weave. Trim the outer wires, leaving approximately half a centimetre. Use round nose pliers to make a small loop, tucking the ends behind the bail. Bend the remaining wires slightly away from each other and pass the 0.2mm wire between them in a figure of 8 pattern, wrapping twice around one wire and then twice around the other wire. Where the single wires meet the woven wires, bend them outwards and upwards. Where the single wires come into contact with the woven wires, use the 0.2mm wire to wrap them all together a couple of times. Wrap the 0.2mm wire a couple of times around the last wire before removing the excess. Trim the wires, leaving approximately half a centimetre. Make a small loop, ensuring that the cut ends are tucked well down and can't be felt. Thank you for watching. Please join me for my next video.